And you can say the title's only 3 words.
Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
Mike.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. And today we're going to do a Kickstarter preview for Cargo Empire. Cargo Empire plays 1 to 5 players. There's a solo mode. And this is a, 90 minutes-ish?
Yeah.
And this is a, we're delivering, we're route building, we are filling secret objectives, and
Moving up tracks.
Moving up tracks.
Collecting cities.
We're doing all kinds of fun stuff in here. Depending on your secret objective, yeah, you might benefit from doing more of one thing than another. There's also different regions we can occupy, so I guess territory control?
I would
kind of, sort of.
I mean, it's like a
little bit, because if
Yeah.
you do manage to upgrade the city completely, you get a bunch of points for that. So
right.
And you can only ship from a city where you have presence.
Watch
Yeah.
your language, sir.
I
yes, man, this could be. Watch that. Be quick with that. Beat
Yeah.
a lot of shipping going on
Yeah,
around here.
there is. So in Cargo Empire, you're gonna have a wagon, a train, and a ship card that you're gonna start with. Everybody's gonna start in one city, and then you're gonna have another city. Everybody's gonna pick a city from the public market, and that's like your other starting city. And so the idea behind that is that when you go to ship goods, you're going to have one type of goods. There's the white, the gray, brown, or orange cubes. And each city marker, and these are all tiles that get seeded out on the board randomly, they've got different things that they supply, and they've got different things that they want. So depending on, you have to start from a city where you have a trading post, where you have presence. And then you are going to play the cards to give you the movement to get to the other cities. You get bonuses if you have any of the city cards or they're in the public area for either your starting point or your ending point. So you could effectively, if you played one card to move, but you had both cities or both cities are out, you effectively would get like a bonus, right? Yeah, bonus of 2. So you'd have a 3 total. And that's important because you've got these tracks down here at the bottom. And again, these are variable. So we've got random ones. We went with a recommended setup for your first game. And so out of the cards you play, you either move your train, or maybe you move your ship, or you might move your car. My car's all the way over there, but you might move your car depending on where you're at. And you would move it 1 per card that you played, and then 1 more for each bonus. If you mixed and matched, because trains will let you move 2 spaces, the wagons let you move 1, and the ships go anywhere from port to port. The filthy buggers.
That's right.
So anyways, so depending on how many of those you played, that's how many you're going to move. So there is, you can move up a lot if you play a bunch of cards. Here's the problem. If you run out of cards, you basically are going to miss a turn to, you're going to get rid of one of your trading posts to get one of each card again.
Back, yeah.
Which, I mean, Spencer did it twice, still won by 10 points.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, it
not
just
so bad.
depends.
Yeah.
I came in second. I was right behind him by 10 points. I missed 1 turn. Really wasn't that bad because it really, honestly, getting those cards back really allowed me to get a lot of points.
Opens up more the map because you can spread out more because you have more cards.
It allowed me to get, and then on this board, right, there's wagon. If you move, if you land on or cross the wagon icon, you're going to get that. This is a city icon. It's going to allow you to take a city card out of the face-up options. This scroll here is for the hidden objectives, and then there's trains and ships. And the ships have a 2 advancement marker, right? So when you play a ship card, it's going to move 2, and then you could also then apply your bonuses if you want as well. And I mean, that's basically how the game is played. We go through. You've got 4 of your trading posts for each round, and so each round you're gonna if you can possibly make a trade, you're going to ship something, land it. Now, when we deliver something over, you're going to fill up one of those spots to show that I delivered this good, right? The good comes off the board. You pull it off of here, you deliver it to wherever, and then the good comes off the board. You see. So if I go from, that's not a good example. Yeah. So if I go from, yeah, they do want that, right? So they want Istanbul wants a brown. I could go from here to here. Then I would get to take one of these, put it here. Now, all their cargo spots are filled, right? Because that's what they want. So then this city would get upgraded. So it starts at level 1. We flip to level 2. These trading posts move over to the side. Now they're basically in position to score this if we can get it to level 3. So then we put out the gray and the orange. Why am I struggling? Right here. And now if we can deliver these off of here, or somebody, well, if somebody delivers 2 brown here, then that's going to flip. And then whatever trading posts are there are going to move here. And then at the end of the game, you're going to get 3 points for each trading post you've got in a
level 3 city.
In a level 3 city. So, you know, we're not scoring any points for these. Now, you might get them for your secret objectives if you have presence in red cities or blue cities, or, you know, there's all sorts of combinations to mix and match how you're going to get points for those kind of things. But effectively, that's what you're doing. If you can flip a city that has no more goods to deliver, they call that a perfect flip. That's an extra movement point for you down here where you get to advance on the track. Again, you're only able to advance out of the cards you used,
that turn.
right? So if you used a train and only a train, you cannot advance your ship marker or your car marker. You have to advance the train marker, even with your bonus points. It's really pretty straightforward. I mean, we were working with a prototype rulebook, so there was some things that were like, oh, I'm not sure. But once, like, honestly, we got through like 2 or 3 turns, and we pretty much understood the game.
Then it's flowed.
Yep. And then the game flowed very quickly. I feel like it would. I mean, if anything, we were just like, okay, you're more than waiting on somebody to sort of try to optimize their turn a little bit, which is totally fine. You're going to have that in games like this. So there is going to be a little bit of AP, but it does lend itself to some really interesting choices. And there was like literally decisions I was making to try not to not give Spencer more points. Somebody else ended up flipping it anyways and giving him 6 points essentially.
That's good. You pay me back for that.
But you know, but there's other, you know, so there's a real kind of interesting push and pull. There's some strategy there, because once you start seeing where people have presence, it's like, well, I don't want to go there, because like up here, if I could have gone up there and delivered, but if I did, it was going to flip. I would have had 1 trade post here, and Spencer would have had 3. So Spencer would have gotten 9 points. I would have gotten 3. I mean, so it's only like he'd get 6 points.
Right.
But my 3 isn't enough, right? Like, and I already knew he was in the lead. So it's like, well, I can't do that to feed into his engine more.
But you also have to be careful, because if you have no other moves, you have to make that one.
Then you have to make that move. Yeah, so you do. Yeah. But again, it makes for some really interesting decisions. And there was, I wish I was paying a little bit more attention at the beginning of the game, but there was definitely like to some of my secret objectives, right? To where it's like, oh, okay. So I need to have more, like I didn't have near enough red cities. You know, I had a couple that I got at the end, but like, you know, and then there was pairing of port and non-port cities. And you know, hopefully they stick with this in the final product, but it was cool because my city cards actually said if they had a port on them or not, with the little anchor icon. So it was very easy to just at a glance tell where my pairs were.
I hope they add a little bit of maybe color on here.
Yeah, I'll see that too.
On the map, because that would make it easier to tell.
Oh, sure. Yeah, because they could do it with the color of the title of the city.
The banner or whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, this is a prototype. It's a very raw prototype. So really, none of our feelings or comments should reflect this. But I mean, it's very functional. Like what we had is a very playable game. And it never, once we got going, I never even thought of it as a prototype. I'm just playing a game that has a lot of interesting choices. So what did you guys think of Cargo Empire? Spencer, why don't we go with the winner first?
I enjoyed it. I liked having to make some of the choices, especially when I realized I'm going to have to miss a turn. Is it worth making this move and missing that turn? And it was. Obviously won, but there were also cases where I was like, no matter what I do, I'm 1 space away from getting a whole bunch of points, and I can't stop. I can't do it.
Right.
And so it forces you into these nice little conundrums, and also trying to block people off. So it's not like a getcha kind of game, but I noticed over here that he had the 3 points, and I could easily have done that one, but I was like, I'm going to come over here and hope someone else takes the last one that he has so he can't do it, and someone did. Me, thank you. But I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah. Like I said, very interesting decisions being made. I do like how you have the 3 different types of transportation, and then depending on what types of transportation you're using, you're like basically kind of leveling up these tracks to gain more cards and not necessarily abilities, but like much more access to the board. And I know it's prototype, but like I did have a little bit of trouble with some of the colors, like on the cards, like they have green and red cities. I literally could not tell them apart at all.
Right, yeah.
So I'm hoping some of that gets fleshed out a bit. I'm sure I will, because usually prototypes they don't use quite as much ink or whatever. But hopefully it's a little bit more saturated to be able to tell it apart. I do like how you can take things off of the ships. You can just sail all the way around, then take it off, then get on a train and move it inland a little bit more. So that makes it an interesting way that you would actually do the way you would move your cargo around.
Yeah.
So I like that. And then trying to get the perfect flips, trying to make sure that, you're clearing all those goods off before you put another trading post on there and flip it to gain the extra bonus moves up the tracks and whatnot. Trying to balance that with people who don't care so much about doing that and just flip them anyway. But apparently, it's not as important. Like, those bonuses are nice, but flipping them over and getting that to a level 3 city is very important. There's a lot of end game points in that, so it's very important.
And I was kind of surprised with how few cities we ended up flipping.
Oh, yeah, I think because we were trying to focus so much on getting those perfect flips.
Were.
Yeah,
and we had a lot of cities we never even touched.
Yeah. There's like one I have like my starting city on, and like that's it. Yeah.
Mike, what'd you think?
Yeah, this was fun. I like the different ways that the game incentivizes you to build certain routes. Like one of them, for example, is by having these city cards out here, which are all worth 5 points at the end of the game. So as you're looking at the routes, if you can move either one of your markers over one of those city markers and deliver goods to that marker, you're moving up the track and you're taking that card.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I thought that was interesting how it incentivizes you to do that. But then it's also fascinating how certain cities can only take certain goods, and sometimes you'd run out of goods to ship.
Right.
And so you're like, wow, I maybe really have no incentive to put a guy in Marseille here. Let's say I don't have any in-game points that get me anything off of green cities. I may put a trading post there anyway because I really need a gray and a white cube to ship.
Right.
So just the different reasons it gives you to put trading posts in other areas as opposed to different ones. And I really like the track system here because this is the primary way that you get your movement cards back.
Yes.
Now, there is an in-round refresh that happens here that allows you, if you're the furthest up the track with that marker, you'll get an additional one of those movement cards back at the end of the round. But during the round, this is the only way you're getting those movement cards back and trying to chain those things together where, well, if I move from a place that I have a city, I get an extra track movement. And if I can at least pass one of those that has a city marker and deliver those goods and grab the city card, the track movement I thought was really interesting because it's the primary way to replenish cards, and you need those cards to spread your network in this game. So it makes the track very important in how you play out the whole game.
Yeah, I really appreciated all the decisions. This game felt really crunchy without feeling overwhelming, without getting like bogged down too much. And I like heavy games, but sometimes heavy games can get a little like you're just kind of mucking through, certain phases. But like this kind of reminds me of like a Five Tribes, right? Like, oh, you've never played Five Tribes. Oh my gosh.
A lot to consider on your turn.
The board state is going to change a lot between turns.
Yeah.
So it's hard to plan too far ahead. But again, I feel like the rule set, once we understood it, the rule set was like, okay, boom, 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 boom. And now, honestly, right, I feel like any of us could go and teach this game and we could be up and running in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we could get it going pretty quick. So once somebody's kind of gotten through and understands the rules, and I'm not trying to make it sound like it was overwhelming, but we were working with a prototype rule book, so I mean, it is what it is, reality situation. But again, once we got it, bang, boom. The last, I mean, seriously, round 2 and 3 were so fast.
Yeah.
Even with us going, Spencer, just take your turn. And it's fine. He's trying to play. I mean, that's what we're doing. But yeah, I just appreciated like a game that was also really interesting. This was an interesting way to do like a pick up and deliver, kind of thing. I don't know that I've seen a pick up and deliver system like this. And it was kind of fun seeding the board, and being like, because like Mike said, I may not really want anything here, but it's a great starting point because of the goods it has, and I need to get over to a city. So it does reward a little bit of planning ahead if you can pull it off. And there was definitely times where it's like, if that move is there, that's the move I need to take. And then I started looking at other options, right? And then when it came around to me, it's like, well, that move's there. So all those options will wait till next turn because that's the move I need to make. And sometimes that move's gone. And it's like, okay, well, this is what I got. And that's how I personally try to go through games like this.
I do like how the cities, they have the supply side where this is what they're making, and then they're demanding something obviously they can't make, and so you're trying to balance that. Okay, well, this is what they're supplying. Who's demanding those? So that's also going to make the same goods I can bring back to deliver to what they're demanding. So you're just trying to balance that back and forth.
The replayability, because all these tiles, we randomly seeded the board with these tiles.
Yep.
So literally,
mixes it up every time.
You're going to have a different layout and experience, and it never felt impossible. The worst thing that happened was I had to pass a turn to take 3 cards, and that I felt like in a way I got so many points from having those 3 cards that it didn't really hurt that bad to lose that turn.
That trading post, yeah.
And there was one thing I thought was interesting. I wanted to get an orange, and there was an orange here in Oslo, and then this one got placed, and I realized if I go here,
that's going to flip.
it could flip, and I don't know if that orange is going to still be there when it flips.
All right.
So it was a way to block someone off from getting something they might need. It was
Mike did that
just
to me one
another
time.
one of those interesting little decisions that comes up.
Right. Either whether you do it on purpose or by accident.
Yeah.
It's still, again, board state constantly changing. But yeah, this was fun. I thought this was really cool. I look forward to seeing what more of it looks like, because I know the plan for this game is it's going to be a double-sided map.
Oh, okay.
So the other side is going to be like a fantasy realm with like fantasy cities. But then yes, right now the side we have for the prototype is Europe. And so Mike, you said you were disappointed there was no Iceland. Well, you can't take a train or a truck to Iceland.
You can take a boat.
You can take a boat.
That's the only way. That's the only way.
Here.
Yeah, but I'm not there with a port on it.
I guess so. So what are you just gonna take ice out of Iceland?
Yes.
That's their only export, right?
They're demanding everything else.
Let's just offend.
That's the one place that demands everything else.
Let's offend everybody. Just well, I only have ice. But no, this was really cool. I like the variable setup. I think that's going to lend itself to replayability. I think this is an interesting game that you could little more midweight, but I think you get people that are like kind of dabbling with the middleweight games, and I think that this is a nice sort of stepping stone to sort of see how they do and see if they would like a heavier or a crunchier game.
And it has room for expansions. Most definitely. I mean,
tons of stuff.
Each one of these demands is always the same one, but it doesn't have to be.
I mean, an expansion could be another map. It could be, there's, I believe they're also talking about doing like asymmetric player powers.
Nice.
So
Other
I mean,
countries.
just add in extra stuff to that, right? So lots of very cool things I think they can do, and I'm really glad we got to look at it because it's fun to get a unique perspective, right? If a game brings something new and it's like, well, this is just this, like no, this is this. So when a game brings something new that I haven't seen in another, because obviously there's overlap with pick up and deliver games, but to have something really unique I was like, ooh, shiny.
The unique, I still feel like the way you're playing cards, and that is your track movement, and the track movement is how you replenish those cards. That I haven't seen before. That's unique. So I feel like if you're a fan of route building and you want to see something unique with this system built in, it's something to check out.
And it even has a built-in like over here, you're only getting points. So if you keep building one up, you're not replenishing cards.
Right. That's true too. That's true too. You're only going to replenish that one card at the end of the turn order round, potentially, depending on how far up on the track you are. So, and it is nice. If you're last, you could just get to pick which one you want. So you're not like totally hosed for going in last place all the time. So, all right, guys. Anything else to add for Cargo Empire before we sign off?
I think so. We're good.
Cool. Anyways, Cargo Empire, check it out. I think we all liked it. It was really interesting and really unique. So look forward to seeing what the rest of the campaign brings. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and all those things. We have a very active Discord. We love to hang out and talk to people there. And so if you want to talk to us, comment on the video, comment on the Discord. What's your favorite pick up and deliver? What do you think of Cargo Empire? Is this something that you think your group would like? Is it for you? We do have a Patreon. If you'd like to support the show financially, that's cool too. But you engaging with us here thumbs up, thumbs down on the video is awesome as well. So, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob, Spencer,
Mike.
Spencer, take your turn!
If you can say the title's only 3 words.